So welcome to the Academic Advising Essentials for undergraduate students. My name is Maya Stratton. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm an international student advisor at the International Center for Students, or ICS for short. So today I'm joined by Elaine, one of the wonderful student staff who will be supporting with the chat and some background technology today. I'm also joined by Chantel Hug and Ashley Lackas, who are coordinators at the Academic Advising and will be facilitating the session today. So to start us off with a good heart, we would like to acknowledge and respect the Algonquin, Songhees, and Esquimalt people on whose territory the university stands, and the Algonquin and Wasanich peoples whose historical relationships with the land continue to this day. So this is a territory acknowledgement that we do at UVic as an act of reconciliation. You will hear a territory or land acknowledgement at the start of meetings and events in Canada to recognize the land that we're currently on and to honor the Indigenous peoples who have historic and present relationships to this land. So you can learn more about the territorial acknowledgement at the link in the chat. Elaine, can you put that in the chat, please? So this session, Academic Advising for Undergraduate Students, is being offered as part of the International Student Orientation Programs. And to find out more information about that, Elaine will put that link in the chat as well. Between August 19th and August 23rd, the International Center for Students and campus partners are offering online sessions to introduce you to all of the services and supports that are available on campus. From August 27th to September 1st, there will be many in-person programs for you to attend. So we hope you'll join us. During this time, you'll be able to meet our team, get connected on campus, make new friends, and of course, there's our International Student Welcome event on August 29th. So if you haven't yet submitted your one card, please do so on the website. Elaine will put that link in the chat. The one card is how you'll register and be able to attend the International Student Orientation on August 29th. If you have any questions for me during the session, I will be staying in the background and will be available for questions after the session. And for now, I will hand it off to my wonderful colleagues, Chantel and Ashley, to start our session.
Thank you so much. Appreciate the introduction. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you being here. Today, we're going to be reviewing Academic Advising Essentials, and this information is focused on undergraduate students who are in programs within the Faculties of Humanities, Science, and Social Sciences. So we're really excited to go over this information for you today. So let me introduce us. My name's Ashley. I use she and her pronouns. I'm an academic advisor as well as a coordinator for student programs. And Chantel is also here.
Hello.
Chantel's going to be presenting a little bit later on, so you'll get to hear from her as well. All right. And so we both work with the Academic Advising Center for Humanities, Science, and Social Sciences. Sometimes you might hear this referred to as the tri-faculties. And as academic advisors, our role is to support students throughout their degree program with academic planning. And we're here to help you from the start of your journey until the end when you're completing your undergraduate degree. So we're going to be giving you a brief overview of our services and providing some information that we hope will prepare you for your studies at UVic. Okay, and during the presentation, we will be putting some links in the chat, but the video recording of this will also be posted and a handout with the links as well. So you'll be able to access that later as well. Okay, so who are academic advisors and how can we help you? Advisors in the Academic Advising Center are professional advisors, and our primary role is to support students navigating their degree program through personalized program planning. We're here to help you from the start of your journey until you complete your undergraduate degree. And we're here to help you understand the university, faculty, and program requirements, including helping clarify academic policies when necessary. We're also here to help you learn about opportunities that you have to make your degree more robust. So that includes different opportunities that you can take advantage of while a student. And so we'll talk about that a little bit today, and to help you connect with support and opportunities across campus. We are also here to work with you and your academic department. So that would build the department of the program you're deciding to do, and faculty to help make the most of your degree, which sometimes means we're going to be providing you with referrals to other campus supports and resources. All right. So, who are academic unit advisors and department advisors? So, there are some other types of advisors on campus, and that's different than what Chantal and I do. And those are referred to as academic unit advisors. You may also hear them called department advisors, and those are normally instructors or professional staff who are part of a specific department. So, they might work in the math department or the history department or the environmental studies department. And they're going to be really familiar with everything that's happening in that specific department because that's where they work and those are the kinds of classes that they teach. So they can help you navigate specific course content in their programs and can help you sometimes choose between courses where you have a choice and you're not sure like which content matches your interests the most in order to help you take courses that fit with your learning goals. So if you want to know which history course is best for someone interested in environmental history, or if you're interested in learning about an honors program, for example, your academic unit advisor can help answer these questions and other things that are very specific to their program or courses in particular. They won't be able to tell you if you can graduate. That's what advisors like me and Chantel do. But they can really help you make some clear decisions that are on track with your interests. So academic advisors in the advising center where I work and Chantel work, we work closely with those unit advisors. So we might refer you to them to ask some specific questions, or they might refer you back to us. And there is definitely some back and forth there depending on your needs and questions. So academic advisors are helping you get through your program, fulfill your requirements, and building a program that matches your academic goals. And the unit advisors are there to help deepen your knowledge of a specific area of study, depending on your goals related to that field. And so together we make up two parts of your advising team. All right, so some of the hurdles that new students can face is understanding the terminology we use. And honestly, different universities sometimes use the same term to mean different things. So this will help clarify how UVic uses these terms. And hopefully that'll give a bit more clarity. But if you ever have questions, we're definitely happy to help with that. So since we were talking about departments and unit advisors, I'll start by talking about some terms related to that. So within each faculty, and faculty examples includes humanities, social sciences, and science. Those are three different faculties. You'll find various departments within each of those. Some areas are called schools instead of departments, but you can kind of think of those interchangeably. So for example, the Faculty of Humanities includes departments such as English, History, and Gender Studies. That's just to name a few. Science includes areas like math, physics, chemistry, and biology. And social sciences includes things like psychology, economics, and geography. And each of those departments will offer specific programs within those areas. So there's a few different types of psychology programs and a few different types of economic programs. Undergraduate programs are also referred to as bachelor's degrees. There are some other types of undergraduate programs like certificates and diplomas, but the majority of you are probably looking at completing a bachelor's degree, and so that's what we'll kind of focus our attention on. And a program includes all the components that make up your bachelor's degree. So that might be some required courses. Well, it'll be quite a few required courses and some electives and other components as well. So the majority of degrees in the three faculties that we support are Bachelor of Arts degrees or Bachelor of Science degrees. There are other types of programs as well. And so in order to graduate, all students must declare and complete the requirements for a specific program. So a lot of you probably have an idea of what exact program you want to do already. That may change or maybe get even a bit more specific as you narrow down exactly which major or minor if you want one. And so at minimum, students will be declaring a specific major program, and some students will declare a general program. And we can help guide you through that if you have questions. So picking a major, a single major is the most common part of the primary part of your program. And a major involves a specialization in a specific discipline where you'll normally be completing at least 10 classes of 300 and 400 level courses in that area. Um, We'll also discuss other terminology such as general programs, double major, honors, minor, certificate, diploma. So those are other types of programs. We won't bog you down with those details today, but those are things that are options. And so if you want to discuss that, I think chatting with an advisor is a good option for you. All right. So how do you decide which courses that you want to take? There are a few resources, and I hope that a lot of you have had a chance to look at them already. We did have a program planning 101 presentation, and there was also registration 101. I know since you're here, you're probably very organized and you've probably looked at a lot of these things, but we'll just revisit just in case. And if any of these things are particularly standing out as something missing, then I would definitely recommend you connect with our office to chat with an advisor individually. We'll also have time for questions at the end. So things that you can use to help you decide which courses to take. So resources include the UVic academic calendar, our program planning worksheets that the Advising Center has built for each of these programs. We also have a resource that talks about elective courses by theme, so you can have a look and see which courses might be in your area of interest, but maybe you wouldn't have thought of those before. You can also find elective courses that don't have prerequisites, so that means anyone can take them and you don't require any special background to take those electives. There's recommendations on department websites. We also suggest attending events or workshops or having an appointment with an academic advisor. So you're here at this event, so you're definitely off to a great start. And explore and take courses in a variety of areas depending on your program. So one of the resources that I mentioned is the academic calendar. And so this refreshes 3 times a year in September, January, and May. I think mostly everyone here, probably everyone here, is starting for September. So your first opportunity to use the calendar is the September 2024 version. And in this version of the calendar, you will find every single program, every single course that exists. Not all of them are offered every time, every year, but all the courses that are possible are listed in the calendar. It also has lots of rules and regulations related to your faculty and different processes. So it's really great to be familiar with this resource. It is fully online. It used to be printed out. It was about 3 inches thick. So lucky it's all online right now. So you can kind of navigate through that as well. Another really great resource is our program planning worksheets. Again, I'm sure a lot of you have already had a look at these. We have these for almost every major that's listed in the calendar. And so this information is actually the same information that's in the program section of the academic calendar, but we have made program planning worksheets to help break it down so you can see, especially for year 1 and year 2, what kinds of courses you'll be taking and how many elective courses. And so with that, you can click through to different requirements through the worksheet. And another great thing about the worksheet is if you're considering like, do I want to do a history degree or a chemistry degree? You can look at those 2 worksheets side by side and it becomes much easier to compare the requirements. And so the worksheets you will have found on our website. We have a lot of other great resources on our website, including the electives by theme page. And so when you get in there, there's a few different nested areas, including electives in humanities, science, and social sciences, as well as ones that are interesting to all students. For example, university success courses like EDD 101, which is University Learning Strategies. And so those are credit courses you can take to help support your overall learning. And yeah, on our website, you can navigate that. And we do revisit that, at least once a year to help refresh with new courses that are in there. But departments are always creating new courses. So this is a great starting point. And then maybe you'll realize, oh, environmental studies, that subject looks interesting. And then you can look in the academic calendar to see all of the courses that are in that area. Anything you wanted to add on those ones, Chantel?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, I'll pass it over to Chantel for the next section of the presentation.
All right, thanks very much, Ashley. Hello, everyone. I'm Chantel. So now that we've kind of reviewed the calendar and the program planning worksheets and electives, you might be wondering how everything kind of fits together. So you may also be asking yourself, do I have to take all of the courses on the program planning worksheet, or how many courses should I take? So some things to think about is that you don't want to overload yourself with courses, especially your first year here at UVic. We recommend a maximum of 5 courses a term, generally at the most. And the program planning worksheet is built in a way that it is an idealized version of how you might complete this degree in exactly 4 years, taking 10 courses in the winter session, which is September to April, and then not taking any courses in the summer. So there are some ways to make this fit better for yourself. Maybe take fewer courses in the winter, take some courses in the summer, or you might just take a little longer to do your degree. Most people don't finish their degree in exactly 4 years. So don't feel like you absolutely have to do every course that's listed there for that first year on your program planning worksheet. What is important though is that you are aware of which courses are going to be the most important for you to be able to move on to second year courses. And that's how an academic advisor can really help you figure out, these are the priorities, these are the core courses I need to be able to make some good progress in my degree and sequence those courses as I move through. And these are ones that I can maybe leave a little bit later and are a little bit more flexible. Some other things that you want to think about when you're deciding about course load is it's always in your best interest to register with the Center for Accessible Learning, also known as CAL, as soon as you can, even before courses start if you are a student with any kind of learning, sensory, or physical disability, a chronic health condition, or mental health diagnosis. CAL is there to support you with academic accommodations that can reduce the educational barriers that you might be encountering. So always making sure you connect with them early on and have that set up for you as you go into the term is really important. We can also refer you to them if you have any questions, but they're a really great resource for you to be aware of. Other factors that might affect your course load may include housing, funding, scholarships, varsity athletics, study permits, or visas. So all of those things will have their certain number of courses they expect you to be in to maintain that, right? So make sure that you know how many courses you need to take before you register, okay? All right, so now we're going to talk a little bit about enhancing your degree. And I just noticed a typo there, so it's enhancing. So we're going to go over some basics and then touch on some ways that you can kind of like add some value to your degree. All right, so I want to start off with just a reminder that all of these degree components, apart from certificates and diplomas, are added when you declare your program after you've completed 12 units of university coursework. So that means that might be after your first year studying at UVic. If you're a transfer student, you might be coming in with some units already, but a combination of 12 units allows you to then declare your program. And as Ashley said, a major is the most common primary degree program that our students follow. And that means specializing in one area and doing 10 courses at the upper level, right? But there are some other things that you can consider for your degree. So we also have something called a general program, which is a combination of 2 areas of study. You can find those in the academic calendar. We don't make program planning worksheets for general programs or minors. So the best way to think of a general program is to think of doing 2 minors together instead of a major. So you're kind of doing 2 smaller programs together instead of 1 bigger program in the form of a major. They tend to be a little bit more broad and a little less specific than doing the courses in the major. Something that you want to keep in mind with the general degree is some universities have very open general degrees and they allow students just a lot of flexibility. The UVic program here is that you're putting 2 minors together essentially, right? So it's not just taking general sciences or general humanities, but you are following 2 different programs, this taking fewer courses in those areas. The other thing to just be aware of with terminology is that students, when they start at UVic, they start off as undeclared. So that's not the same as saying that you're in general sciences. You're just undeclared in science until you declare your major, or you might be undecided in humanities, for example, if you're still just not sure what you want to pursue. Another type of degree that we'll go over quickly is a double major. A double major is when you complete the requirements for 2 different majors. You can only pursue the maximum of 2. We don't refer these to as dual degrees, they're double majors. So you're basically taking 2 majors and trying to fit it into 1 bachelor degree. And this can really be different depending on which programs you're trying to put together. Some have more requirements than others. So this is a great topic, again, to speak with an academic advisor about. Another one to go over is a combined major. So a combined major is actually just a single major, but 2 different subjects. So I always like to explain this as 2 departments got together and kind of blended some of their courses and made 1 single major. So an example of this would be like psychology and computer science has a combined major. So these programs are specifically tailored that you allow you to take a combination of these courses without doing a double major. And these ones we do have program planning worksheets for, so you can see which ones exist there. So then optional programs, so these are on top of doing your major, your combined major. These ones are absolutely if you just find something that you want to add on to your degree. So something like a minor program. So a minor is a smaller grouping of classes that allow you to use your electives towards kind of focusing those electives on a certain area. So for example, if your major is in history, but you're really interested in English, you might add a minor in English. You're only allowed to have 1 minor at a time. You might also want to think about that you don't have to have a minor that belongs to your faculty. So if you're in the Faculty of Social Sciences, you don't have to have a minor in social sciences. You could have a minor in business. You could have a minor from the fine arts. You could have a minor from humanities. So it's really open. So keep your eyes open, experience different courses, and you never know what you might want to add on to your program. One last thing I'm going to go over here of kind of like an additional add-on is certificates and diplomas. So certificates and diplomas are actually separate credentials, but you can use these courses for the certificates and diplomas towards your electives in your undergraduate degree. So for example, some really popular certificates are language certificates. We have Spanish and Chinese, French, and those courses would allow you to get a certificate in those languages while using those courses as electives in your program. So it's a really good thing to consider, especially with the languages, but there's other ones as well, including like gender studies and media studies. So those, again, are just totally optional. The last thing I want to talk about here is an honors program. So what you want to do if you're considering going into an honors program is you want to check out the academic calendar, because again, we don't make a program planning worksheet for honors because program planning worksheets are generally intended for first and maybe second year students. And honors is something you're going to explore a little bit more in your 3rd or 4th year. But you do want to be aware of what the expectations are. There's GPA cutoffs. There's going to be additional coursework you do in your upper years, and you would actually have to be selected by the department. So it's just a good thing to have a little bit of a sense of what that's going to look like for you if you are interested in honors. Honors is kind of the traditional route that students would take if they are considering going on to grad school. So that means going on to like maybe their master's or their PhD in the future, as it does provide you with some extra preparation of doing some independent research and a thesis. But again, that's something that you can always come and talk to us about as well. All right, so that was a lot of information. Give you a little bit of information here, just how to get in touch with us. So we do have a website. It has a ton of resources on it. So it's always a good idea to just check there. You might be able to find the answer to your question just by looking at our website. We also do have these virtual or in-person events. And we'll talk a little bit more, I think, about some upcoming events later. You can contact our advising center, and you can meet with an academic advisor for a one-on-one appointment. So if you want to get in touch with us, this is the phone number here. It's 250-721-7567 extension 6, and that's going to put you through to our front line. So our front line might actually be able to answer your question. If it's something that shouldn't really be coming to an academic advisor, they're very, very good at referring you to the right person. And then if you did want to book an appointment, you just let them know that you're interested in booking a one-on-one appointment with an advisor. We do our appointments by phone, in person if you want to sit down with us, or we can also do like a video call through MS Teams. Our appointments are generally 15 to 20 minutes long. And then if we need any additional time, we can always book you in again. But that's generally how long you'd kind of be expecting to sit down with an advisor for. We're open Monday to Friday, and we are closed weekends and holidays. So one thing just to be aware of, in September, we function a little bit differently than we generally do for the rest of the year. So in September, if you're looking to meet with an advisor, just because there's so many people that are trying to access our services, we do same day appointments. So essentially you would call in or stop by the same day that you wanted to meet with an advisor. We have tons of appointments that we're going to have ready for students, but we won't be booking out in advance as we generally do during the rest of the academic year. All right, and I'm just going to finish off here with some quick tips for success. So these are things that you're probably going to hear about from other sources as well, but just trying to give you that sense of like exploring what all of your options are at UVic. So take advantage of those clubs and those course unions, volunteer, look into co-op and see if that or work experience might be a good option for you. There's also exchange opportunities at UVic that are really awesome. There's also opportunities for community engagement learning. Some of our programs in the social sciences even have a community engagement option with their degrees now. There's also help centers in the library, including math and stat help. There's the Center for Academic Communication, and this one's a really big one. A lot of people think about this center as a place to go if you need a little bit of help with writing an assignment. And that's absolutely true, but they also offer a lot more skill-based type learning. So scheduling, stress management, how to take a project and like put it into smaller bits throughout the term. So that's a really great resource to be aware of. And then there's also the UVic Learn Anywhere website to help you with some academic success as well. And a few other just quick tips. It might sound obvious, but go to your classes. So some classes, they're not going to be checking in to see if you're there every day, but it's going to be so much easier if you are in every class and you're not missing anything. You're able to form those relationships with your fellow students too, so that if you are ever sick, you can reach out to them and get a little bit of help, and also form that relationship with your TAs and professors as well. Make sure you go to class prepared, try to do those readings ahead of time. And most importantly, I think, is setting aside time to study and complete coursework outside of class time. So your classes are only going to be a few hours a week for each class, but the time that you're going to be putting into that work is going to be a lot more outside of the class. So making sure that you're leaving yourself lots of time for that study time, either by yourself or with a study group. Also, don't hesitate to talk to your professors and TAs during office hours. That's why they're there. And forming those relationships, again, can just make it a lot smoother sailing for you as you move forward. Also, check in with yourself. Stay balanced, stay organized, make sure that you know you're taking good care of your physical health and your mental health, that you have time to hang out with friends and be social. There's a lot of things that you can be a part of, but you also don't have to be a part of everything. So just making sure that you figure out kind of what's that blend of social and academic and work and whatever other responsibilities that you might have. And lastly here, reach out if you need any support. So we're here obviously at Academic Advising to help you with academic support. There's health and wellness supports as well, and we've gone over a few of the other ones as well. So just make sure that you are reaching out. There's lots of resources here available if you do need any extra help. And here we're just going to have a couple things about some events that we do have coming up. So we have residence orientation on Monday, September 2nd. We've got some faculty sessions happening Tuesday, September 3rd. So we're going to be, I'll be presenting at social sciences. So if any of you are at social sciences, I'll see you again. We also have word of advice workshops, and these are really more like info sessions that we have throughout the fall. They're 10 minutes long, and we basically just give you a little little piece of information on a topic. So for example, we have one on minors and certificates. So if you wanted to learn more about that, that would be a great workshop to come to. We have those in person and online as well. And like I said, they're just little 10-minute things that we offer generally on Wednesdays. We also have drop-in advising times in the library commons. So this is where if you weren't able to book an appointment with an advisor, or you just had a quick question that popped into your mind, we do have advising times 4 times a week over in the library commons, and you can literally just stop by. And if we don't have a student, you can walk right in. And if we're meeting with a student, you just put your name down on the list and we'll be with you pretty shortly there. And we have our advising website up there with the events. So if you want to see that or any of the drop-in hours, that's where you would also go. So that's the end of the presentation that I have for you. I've put our phone number here again, as well as our physical location in the Jamie Castles building. So that's how you would get in touch with us. But otherwise, I can open it up to questions if any of you have any questions.
Chantal, just one moment before we
Yeah,
start the questions.
yeah,
I'm just
absolutely.
gonna stop the recording right now. But first, I wanted to thank you, Ashley and Chantal, both for the great presentation, and as well Elaine for supporting us today in the chat.